Hi. Hey, Internet. How's it going? Welcome to Office Hours. That's what we call this show, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
100%.
Yeah. Just making sure. It's been a little while since we've done a show, like, I don't know, a few weeks at least, and it's definitely the first show that we're doing in 2020, which is a new decade.
Yes. Merry New Year,
Merry
as
New Year.
Zantac says.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I am very quiet, by the way. I could talk really loud, I guess. I don't know if that helps. I feel like at some point I'm just going to be screaming and then it's going to be too loud. But, you know, now I'm bringing it down. All right, cool. Let us know how that audio sounds. But real quick, my name is Oliver. This is
Zach.
Zach is who I'm with today. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Office Hours. Like I said, let us know how the audio is sounding, but I think we're going to move forward. I see some familiar faces and some newer names that I don't quite recognize, but Xanatex, hello. Classy Packs, good to see you, buddy.
That Tyler Thomas.
Fatty?
Serious Yo.
Fatty?
Fatty.
Fatty's here.
Fatty Lur Thomas.
Fatty Lur Thomas, yeah. Boogeyman, 8541, hello. Good to see you as well. Nerd Ducky.
Classy Packs.
The Radio Chicken.
Deluxe
Oh,
606.
with the Sequisha emote. That's good. That's good. Thank you guys.
Boogeyman, welcome. The Radio Chicken. I think you already said his name.
I did.
But it's fine. I'm a little late to the hype train.
It's
Speaking
okay.
of hype train.
Oh, the transitions are good. I like it. Audio's up. Good. Thank you, Xanatax. I feel like we're just getting the chat delay, but it's fine. But yeah, speaking of the hype train, Twitch, I guess released this new feature sometime this week. I want to say yesterday, possibly the day before, called the Twitch hype train. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it at all. I saw it for the first time like this morning, but basically the way it works is it's a new feature where if certain criteria are met, then the Twitch hype train happens, and then as people like donate or like subscribe or you know, donate bits or whatever, like it adds to the hype train. And once you reach a certain threshold, it unlocks certain emotes.
Yeah.
For people that contributed.
I think it's basically what the subtrains used to be with all the other plugins that people had for their stream, except I think it's the official Twitch
That
thing,
makes sense.
And they're actually rewarding viewers for participating in the hype train now. I think before it was just kind of like to get a number going, but you know, and I think the streamer themselves had to come up with incentives, but now like it actually unlocks emotes for folks now, so.
Okay, that makes sense, because I remember seeing it and thinking like, oh, that seems really familiar. Like there used to be stuff like that, but this is just, you know, native to the Twitch platform, directly from Twitch. That's good. Let's see. Artists are going to be so busy with all these new emotes. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
actually, like, yeah. Oh, and Slaw's here too. Good to see both of you guys. I think from what I'm seeing, like, the emotes for the hype train are specific to the hype train. Like, they're not regular emotes that you can get just from subbing. Am I, like, let me know if I'm correct in that assumption, but like, I figure that would be the point of it. Like, it feels like it'd be redundant if like, you know, subscribing got you the same emotes.
Yeah, it looks like they can have like I think
yeah. So
like
there's
5 emotes.
It looks like there's like multiple emotes per level.
There's like 5 levels and 5 emotes.
Oh, they're set by Twitch.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, like I said, I saw this for the first time this morning. You know, Pims mentioned it to me late yesterday, and yeah, I just saw it. So I'm still trying to figure that one out. It seems pretty cool though. It seems like it's just a way to, you know, drive more engagement, more hype around, you know, the bits and stuff like that. So we'll see how that ends up working out for Twitch and for broadcasters. But you know, it's a nice new little feature. Like I feel like Twitch does this where, like, though. I feel like people are constantly asking Twitch for like big changes, and then like those, you know, obviously take a while, but then before that, like they throw out these random small changes that nobody asked for, but it's like, it's fine, I guess. Like, cool, thanks for doing that. So, yeah, we'll see. Let us know how you guys like the Twitch Hype Train feature. I'm sure I'm gonna be seeing a little bit more of it as we go throughout the year. But speaking of years and stuff, we are just starting 2020. But we wanted to take one last second to look back at 2019 because, I mean, it was a good year for us as a company here at OP Group, as well as for all of our clients, and for like Twitch and the industry in general, really. Like, I feel like there was a lot, like, I don't have any statistics, but it feels like the industry progressed a lot last year, and we just kind of want to take a look back and look at the things that changed, you know, some of the big significant events of last year, and maybe kind of the places we expect to see moving forward.
Yeah, take some time to reflect on 2019, and we have a good list here of what some things that happened. Some of the major things that happened last year that we can think of were, like the huge platform announcements and all the major streaming platforms announcing, signed creators like I think Nikke 30 on Twitch, YouTube, Courage JD, and then Mixer, Ninja, Shroud, King Italian.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get a little bit more into that as we go down the list.
But yeah, like looking at 2019, there are a lot of changes that happened, I guess, last year. And I think the first one we want to talk about is just one that's a little more personal to us, and that's this new studio that we're currently sitting in.
Yes, we had 2 new studios.
We do actually have 2 new studios. I think we've done office hour shows from both of them now. We did,
The first shows that we did for 2019,
they were like right there
in that
like,
office right in front of us.
It looks like I'm just pointing to the camera, but like if you keep going from where I'm pointing, it's a wall. But like if you're like Kitty Pryde and you can phase through walls, then you'd be in the next studio.
It's actually crazy to see how much this studio has changed, like a lot. Like,
yeah.
I think before I think it was just all like white walls that we painted.
We painted these walls, didn't we?
Yeah, and now
then we
this,
put
like,
stuff over our
this brick wall thing. Over there, there's this really cool textured wall that you guys can't see.
Yeah, but no, we wanted to make sure, like I feel like part of the reason for the move was that as a company we were growing, like physically there were more people working, and we needed places to sit and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like if we were going to keep hiring more people, like there was like, oh, I don't know where they're gonna be. So we moved to a bigger office space so that we, could have room. And also now we have like these nice new studios set up, and we've got like Zach was saying, we have 2 new studios now, so we can do office hours. We can, have people come into the studios and stream from them if they want to do that. Like if, maybe some of our clients are in San Diego, they can do game streams from here. So I'm excited to see what we're gonna end up doing with these studios. Like I feel like they offer us, a lot of flexibility in terms of being able to create content. Yes, Mr. Happy last year as well, because the I want to say it was the fires in Northern California. He was not able to stream from his home, unfortunately, and we were able to get him set up down here to do some streams for a few days here. I didn't see a lot of him. Like I talked to him maybe like once or twice while he was here, because
I bumped into him a couple times.
He was literally in studio, like streaming the entire time.
It was pretty cool, actually. Yeah. I thought it was really cool to see, a streamer like utilizing our studio, and I'm just happy that we were able to help him, because it seemed like he was really grateful.
Yeah, and I was talking to him about it and just like trying to figure out, what was going on, and he was just saying that like at the time there was a big DLC release for his main game, and just if he, that would be very difficult for him to miss. So I'm glad he was able to come down here and get set up. But yeah, it was kind of interesting, because like we'd be moving around through the office and I'm like, oh yeah, there's somebody streaming in there. Like it was kind of cool. You guys should come stream from our office and stuff. It'd be fun.
Very fun.
But yeah, like that was probably like the most notable thing that we did last year, like as OP Group. It was the biggest move for the company. Like the company used to be like Meat and Jen's kitchen.
Yeah.
And then
the table.
Yeah. The table, guys. The table. Oh, Adri has the table. Producer Adri still has the table. We thought it was gone because there was an incident. There was fire involved. Omid had to. Yeah, never mind. It's beside the point. But there was a table. It was on fire. It's okay. Adri has the table.
Speaking of fires, on New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
the candle in my bathroom got caught on fire.
The candle caught on fire?
Yeah, like there's this like candle
I
from.
think the candle's supposed to
Bed
catch on
Bath-
fire.
Like it was like a candle that was from Bed Bath and Beyond. Like I guess like all the wax that was in the jar didn't like stop the candle from burning.
Oh, like
and
the
entire
whole-
thing like was basically bursting into flames.
I thought you were telling me that like the tip of the candle was
Right?
on
No,
fire.
it wasn't the wick. Like the
Yeah.
entire candle, like
Oh.
the jar and everything caught on flames.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of thought
Got messy.
it wasn't supposed to do that, and that was the point.
It's not supposed to
Yeah,
do that. So
that
I'm
makes
probably
me-
never buying a candle from Bed and Bath anymore.
Oh
ever.
man, that makes me scared.
Or Bath and Body.
I don't know
I
what.
forget the difference.
I don't
Bath
know.
and Body.
I do the same thing, and I've combined their names into.
Bed, Bath, Body, and Beyond.
Yeah, I've done that before, and it's not accurate. But I digress. Something regarding our clients that happened last year was just like the amount of people that were watching, and like I was saying this earlier, like it feel like I don't have a ton of the hard statistics right now. We're working on some stuff, so we may be able to share some of that with you as we go on. But just looking at our clients, they like generated a ton of viewer minutes last year, and I want to say like it was about 40% of the viewer minutes that South Park had last year.
Yeah.
Which is like a really weird statistic.
I think I have it pulled up right now. I think it's 11.6 billion minutes watched.
It's
lot.
crazy to think that. Like
Yeah.
just to see where Twitch has come from, like, you know, the beginning of its lifespan, where it was like Justin TV and was this weird thing, and then they branded it as Twitch because it's like, oh, the gamers seem to like this live streaming stuff. And, you know, here we are now where it is almost half of the viewer minutes of, you know, a major, like, television property.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really cool, like, time to be in the industry. And I say that, like, every year, honestly. But
Yeah.
it really
Very
seems
true.
like every year something happens that is different and exciting and, you know, makes me really, like, excited to be part of it in any facet, I guess. Barry's here, and he's subscribed for 29 months, but do we still not acknowledge Barry when he's in chat? Is that like a thing?
Was that ever a thing?
I feel like that's a thing. I don't know.
Well, you already did, so
I guess
thanks,
you're right.
Barry.
Thanks,
for the
Barry.
Tier 1 sub.
Good to see ya.
29 months.
I don't know what
Thank
time
you
it
very
is over
much.
there. It's like almost 11 o'clock or something.
It's 10:27.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Time zones are hard, man. I don't know. He's playing Tarkov right now.
Oh, I love Tarkov.
I still don't understand that game.
It's just like a really hardcore survival game. Like you go into you spawn in, you take as much stuff as you can, and then you leave. And if you don't leave, you lose everything.
Escape.
Yes, escape from Tarkov.
So you're in Tarkov.
If you ever played like RuneScape a
Yeah.
long time ago,
Yeah.
or even now, if you ever played RuneScape and you walk into the wilderness with all your stuff, then you attack another player, and that player kills you, you
Right.
drop everything.
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
same feeling in Tarkov, except you drop everything every time. It's fun stuff, and it's actually super popular on Twitch.
It is, and that's something that happens, like, as, you know, as the year progresses, like different games kind of rise and fall, and it's kind of just the normal ebb and flow of the industry. And yeah, lately, like, at least to start the year, Escape from Tarkov has been huge on Twitch.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out why.
They released a major update, and then they were
Okay.
also doing Twitch drops on a lot of streamers'
That's right.
channels. So I think just a few I can think of. I know Sequisha, around the time I went on Twitch over the weekend, he was streaming Tarkov to like 19,000 people. And I think if you're watching for about 3 hours, you'll get like in-game items in Tarkov.
Okay.
And when I was playing around that time, like I couldn't even get into a game because Tarkov was so busy.
Man,
Yeah.
that's
Good
crazy.
stuff.
Should I be playing Escape from Tarkov?
It's maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's for everyone, but
Yeah.
maybe you'll like it. You know?
I don't think it's for me. I'm not a very patient gamer anymore. I'm a very, I need this.
Yeah, it's a game
immediate-
that requires a lot of patience. So.
I'm a very, I need this immediate satisfaction kind of a gamer these days. Like, I'll play a lot of Overwatch still. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty over the last, like, 2 weeks, and that's, like, the most, like, fast-paced. Yeah, like, it's just, I need it now. I have a problem. It's okay.
Boogeyman says, the way those Twitch drops work seem like they're going to change the industry and game development going forward. The ability for the developers to make the game relevant on demand is outstanding.
I think that's a really important observation to make because we've been looking at this for a while now, right? Like, the impact that streaming has on the game industry, right? Because we kind of talk about the industry a lot, and like, it can kind of mean a few different things. Sometimes we're talking about specifically like the idea of streaming and kind of the marketing end of it, and then also the production of games and things like that. But really, the reason that there's so much money being thrown at the streaming and stuff like that right now is because it's affecting the way people play the games and the way people spend their money on the games, right?
It's very true. I mean, I didn't even think about playing Tarkov until I started watching a couple of Twitch streamers play it. And I'm pretty sure that's why the game got so busy over the weekend, too.
Yeah. I was just telling this to Dan, one of our clients, this morning. He was playing the new Monster Hunter Iceborne DLC, and I was just in chat like, man, every time I watch somebody play in Monster Hunter World, it just makes me want to play again. And that's a very powerful aspect of this like medium that I think people are definitely aware of and is going to continue being an important thing. And I think the way Twitch drops work is phenomenal. It's a really good way to kind of integrate the streaming aspect with the game itself and kind of marry those two into one thing.
Yeah.
I was looking for a better word there, but I landed on thing. So.
It's also really cool because, you know, I know for a fact that a lot of game developers, they consider, you know, like watchability a huge thing when they're making their game now because they want it to succeed when other people are watching other people play the game. Tarkov is such like a niche game. Like it's a type of game that usually appeals to like a really hardcore audience. So not a lot of hardcore games are very popular on Twitch. Like I would say like Arma, like Squad, you know, all those like really slow-paced games aren't really big. But Tarkov does it right, and it's been proven because they have a huge community. You know, both on forums, Reddit, especially Twitch. And because so many people are participating on Twitch and streaming their game, it's getting a lot of attention from people who normally aren't into those types of games.
Yeah. I think that's really cool because there are games these days that are really like made based on how well they do on a streaming platform, you know? Like you were saying, watchability. That was never the kind of, you know, like trait or attribute of a game that developers had to think about,
because
right?
It's they always thought about the gameplay itself.
Exactly.
Because they want people to buy the game to play it. But now watchability is huge because now people, before they buy the game, they're thinking, I want to watch my favorite streamer play it first.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at, you know, even just the things that we're doing here, obviously our clients do a lot of sponsored streams, and that formula really rose out of this idea of watchability. When Twitch was starting out, there was a lot of trying to figure out what to do to best utilize the audience. And for a lot of that, like people were trying to throw like midstream advertisements and things like that. But what people realize is that the best way to, you know, advertise on Twitch is just directly through the streamer. Because it's such engaging content. It's so unique. It's so different that it just made for a really effective means of content. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very true.
So I'm catching up on some chat here. Boogeyman was, you know, telling Omid that for the kind of exposure for advertisement time, like he's agreeing that it's going to end up costing developers a lot, which was something Omid was pointing out. Like if this kind of thing with Twitch drops becomes really popular, then it is going to cost a lot to get that kind of thing running with a Twitch-like program for your game. And honestly, it may be worth it if something like with Escape from Tarkov happens, where it had a massive spike because of the Twitch drops integration.
And it's interesting to think about that too, because while Twitch drops are a huge thing, they also a lot of the involvement was from the creators themselves, right? Like Sequisha had a lot of viewers because he was on front page that time, so he was able to, and he was also known for being really good at Tarkov. So I feel like in these situations, a lot of these developers can also go to the content creators themselves and work out something to them play the game, like sponsored streaming, for example. And I think that could work even well. Obviously, the Twitch drops helped a lot because so many viewers jumped in to get those free items.
People love free stuff, man.
But yeah, I mean, the same thing can be achieved by working with a content creator directly as well.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It should be exciting to see what progresses with all of that moving forward this year. McStabby says, nope, Sequisha isn't known for Tarkov. He is only known for his face fuzz. I mean...
Both.
It is a pretty epic mustache, I will say. But they do both exist. Isn't Sequisha's mustache like an item in the game or something? Like, I feel like there's a Sequisha related.
I think you're thinking about Sacriel. Sacriel's a T in the game.
I don't know, man.
If you pick up T, it has a picture of Sacriel.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a Sequisha thing in the game. Maybe it's not the mustache, maybe it's something else. I don't know.
I got killed by someone and someone stole my T. I was really mad.
Bastard.
Yeah, I insured it too. Like, I paid to have that T insured. Actually, no, it wasn't the T that was insured, but someone still killed me and took it.
Savages, man.
Yeah.
Fucking savages in this town.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right. Something else I wanted to talk about that happened last year was something that, is really just something I noticed. I don't know if anyone else did, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the Game Awards. I don't know if you watched the Game Awards last year at all, Zach, but it was a pretty big event, I guess. There was a lot of talk, sure, about the winners and stuff like that, but like I was kind of more concerned with the way the show was presented. Did you catch it at all, by the way?
Actually, I didn't. I saw a lot of the the articles about it and basically like the wrap up for it.
Yeah.
But I don't really watch TV as much, so I wasn't able to catch the Game Awards.
So something that I thought was interesting, like I don't know how often they've done this now. Like this is what, the 5th or 6th time they've done the Game Awards. And this year the big things were Sekiro winning Game of the Year. That was a big thing, and Disco Elysium took like the most awards.
Really?
Yeah, it won like best narrative, like best indie game or something like that.
I can see that. I did play. I am playing that game right now. There's a lot of reading involved. It's basically like a playable book, but it's a really good one.
Yeah, I think it won like best RPG and like it won a ton of stuff. I think it won like 4 different awards, and that was more than any other
That's
game
really
won.
cool. Yeah.
And it's cool because that's such a it's such a like weird like indie game that no one would have predicted was going to do as well as it did. But more so what I want to talk about really is just, it was the presentation of the Game Awards itself. And if you've seen an award show, like the Oscars or the Golden Globes just happened last week, it was presented in a similar fashion in terms of the level of professionalism and just kind of the way that, like, while people were talking, the camera would kind of linger on like certain people. Like it would show like, oh, Ninja's sitting in the crowd, right? Reggie, whose last name I still can't probably pronounce, from formerly of Nintendo. He was there, and they would show him, like, and they're doing these things where they're kind of presenting these people like they're celebrities in the same way that the Academy Awards will show, like, oh, there's Quentin Tarantino sitting in the crowd,
and Brad Pitt,
and there's Brad Pitt sitting there, and they're all dressed up and they're watching and they're excited about are they going to win? Oh, they're congratulating their peers. It's the whole thing. And I thought it was super interesting because I think that's just another step forward for the industry to kind of, I guess, be a part of that mainstream
like entertainment. Right.
Exactly. Like,
was there a musical guest?
there were a few actually.
Really?
So Grimes performed,
Very cool.
who's having a baby or something now.
Grimy Musk.
Grimy Musk was there.
Yeah.
And Green Day performed as well.
Green Day. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Green Day performed at the Video Game Awards.
Nice.
That's a real thing that happened in 2019, guys. And I think it's because they have a song in. They're gonna be like featured in the new like Rock Band game or something like that.
There's a new Rock Band game?
I don't know, something. I want to say it was Rock Band. It may be something similar to Rock Band. I'm an old person now, is what I realized. But like, there's a new like maybe it's like an expansion. I don't know, DLC.
Something
I'm just
like
saying.
that.
I'm just saying words at this point. Expansion, DLC, new game.
I mean, they did have their own game called the Green Day Rock Band.
All right. Well, maybe something's happening, but like something relevant was happening that was timely, and Green Day was there to promote it. They had an original song too. So like, I don't know. Like, I just thought it was a really interesting development to see the Game Awards and where it's been. And like, from what I saw, the viewership for the Game Awards this year was massive compared to previous years, where like, I want to say the first year had like almost 2 million viewers. The following year had a little bit over 2 million, and it progressed and progressed. And I want to say 2018 had just over 25 million viewers, and then 2019 had 45 million.
Wow.
So people are starting to take notice of the Video Game Awards, and people are starting to really put eyes on it and pay attention to what is being said there. And I think it's overall a good thing for the industry because, like I said, it's showcasing gaming in the entertainment space in a way that it hasn't been presented before. When Reggie came up to give a speech, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And they like presented it like it was a big deal.
Oh, at the Video Game Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember when he went up during E3.
Oh yeah.
And he presented the Game Boy.
Yes.
That was actually awesome.
Yeah. And something else that I think is happening, because there were a lot of like new trailers and like announcements were shown at the Game Awards, and I don't know, you may have a different opinion on this, but I feel like that the Game Awards moving forward are going to be kind of what E3 was in years past, because I feel like E3 is also different now. Was last year?
Yeah, last year was very different. I kind of felt like E3 was a little dead last year.
It was.
Like,
it was not the same.
It didn't feel like I walked in and like was presented with a lot of like amazing games and stuff like that. It didn't seem like I had a huge chance to really talk to a lot of the companies there either.
Yeah.
It just kind of felt like a walkthrough of like what's coming out next year. It didn't really blow my mind as much as it did the first time.
Exactly. And this is what, maybe the third year that it was open to the public or something like that?
Yeah.
Third, fourth year, it's something along those lines. But it's interesting because this year at E3, I feel like there were less like huge announcements. There was, Cyberpunk was big this year. I may have gotten this snazzy jacket from the event.
You did that very awkwardly.
Yeah,
You
well,
rehearsed it too. Yeah.
To be fair, I was going to do it later, and I just kind of threw it in now because you were talking about
Gotcha.
E3.
Yeah.
But like, E3 used to be the event that people would watch and like companies would go to, and they would release all of their big news for the upcoming year. Like, we would see big new games coming out, new consoles would be announced at E3, and it was this big thing that like everyone in the industry was watching, and it was a big thing. And this year, like, there were companies that like didn't even show up. They were like, no, we're not going to do E3 this year. Like, we're going to do our own thing. Like, I think EA does their own event before E3. Isn't Oliver just generally awkward anyway? Yes, that is accurate. So that's probably what that was. But I think with the move from being an industry-only event to being a public-facing event now, where the general public can buy tickets and attend E3. I feel like it's a different event now. It feels like they're targeting a different demographic with the show, and that the idea is like, hey, everyone that's into games, come to E3 and celebrate that you're into games and play some of the games, while you're here. And like, I don't know, it just has a different vibe to it. And my prediction moving forward is that E3 will continue moving in that direction, being geared more towards the general public as like a fun event for them to attend, and that the Game Awards will kind of now become that,
like the presentation of
exactly
everything.
like that'll sense, be
that'd be really cool actually. But I feel like for the Game Awards at that point they're less announcing games, they're just more so like saying, hey, this game did really
exactly
good. We love this game because of X, Y, and Z.
But that's the thing, is like this year there was like Jeff Keighley comes out, he's like, the Game Awards, this is awesome, thank you guys all so much for being here, we'll go to an award. They do the award thing, they say who's nominated, people come up, they give their speech, and then they leave the stage, and then we cut to something. And what's that something, right? It's an announcement for, new Mortal Kombat stuff happened at the Game Awards this year. And then, we can have the developers talk real briefly about that, show a trailer, and then move back into the award segments, right?
Yeah.
So it's
a good spot for it too.
Exactly, because
it's a really good spot for
it. There's tons of people. The industry is there. Developers are showing up. Big streamers are showing up to this event now. I don't know. It's all predictions at this point, but I feel like this is the decade where that happens. We're going to start to see those kinds of trends. We're going to start to see these people who used to just sit in their rooms playing games on the internet for a few people, we're going to start seeing them more be showcased as celebrities in a way similar to how Ninja, still is at this point. Obviously he was the one that kind of helped break through.
Yeah, he was in The Masked Singer last year.
Yeah, dude, I was like in Walmart and there was like a toy. It was like a Ninja action figure looking thing. Yeah, like a bobblehead. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, I don't know. Like, it's an interesting turn that the industry took, and I'm excited to see kind of where it's going to continue going, I guess. Yeah. Seriously says last year was the first time I actually sat and watched it, so I thought it was the norm. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It was also the first year that I sat and watched it. Like, the other years I had seen clips and stuff, and I think it is the norm, but I think it's just the fact that more people have taken notice of it, right? The viewership is double what it was from the year before. I'm predicting that maybe it won't double for 2020 Game Awards, but I think that we'll see more viewership on it at the end of the year. And,
Where do you watch the Game Awards? Is it on Spike or something?
It was on Twitch. Like, people were streaming it.
Really?
Yeah, so another thing that they did, which I thought was really smart, was they basically told everybody, like, hey, if you want to co-stream this, go for it. So everybody was, like, tuned in on Twitch, and they were, like, co-streaming the show, and everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
It was like, we're streaming the Game Awards, we're watching it with our community, we're watching, all right, here it is, Game of the Year, what do you guys think?
It's smart too, because it seems like it's something that should be accessible to everyone.
Absolutely.
And you would want it to be accessible to everyone. I kind of get the people like, Blizzard, for example, like DMCAing channels for streaming the convention. That kind of makes sense to me, because that's kind of what conventions are there for, is to get like a sneak peek at all these new things coming up. But at the same time, if you have the rights to stream a convention, why not? But VGA Awards, that being able to be streamed on all the platforms, it's a really good idea to just get it out there. And who doesn't really want to watch that with their community?
Yeah, that's such fun content. It's exciting. It doesn't happen all the time, and it really kind of taps into what streaming is, right? It's hanging out with your friends and sharing in something that you guys all like. And that's kind of the crux of what has made this successful for a lot of people. Anytime I tell someone what I do, it's always a little weird if they're not familiar with it. Like you have to go through the explanation, and it's like, well, there are people, they play games on the internet, and like people watch, and it's like it's a thing.
People still don't get it.
Yeah, I know.
It's actually crazy. Like, I had to just tell my grandparents. Yeah.
Oh, my parents have no clue what I do.
Yeah, they have. I tell my grandparents because they just don't understand it. To them. It's like so foreign. Like if I try to explain to them, it's like alien language almost. You know.
I've explained it to my mom like dozens of times at this point. I've even shown her a stream. Like I remember very vividly being at my parents' house at the kitchen table and like showing my mom a stream, and it was T-Rex, and I was like, "Hey T, how's it going?" And he was like, "Oh, hi Oliver," and my mom was just, she did not understand. She was like, "What is happening? Why does that man know who you are?"
On the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes. She was all scared that like my information was leaking, and I don't know.
What?
It's a thing, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think the decision to make the Game Awards accessible to influencers and their communities was a genius move. I think they should keep doing that, and I think they should really keep building on what they did last year. I hope to see more people being showcased as kind of celebrity type attendance, because last year it was a lot of cutting to Ninja to show what he was thinking about it, or Reggie, and it was back to Ninja. And it was like, all right, I get it. Like, but I think as we move forward, you know, more people are going to be recognized as being those kinds of, you know, highly esteemed people. If Ko feels like going to the Game Awards, you know, maybe they'll show him there. But he doesn't like leaving his home, I hear. Yeah, I don't know. McStabby says, you want to have a real fun time, B42 dating, try to explain what Twitch is to a date. Yeah. I never had to do that. I've also never been 42, so.
You should just take your date to TwitchCon.
Take your date to TwitchCon.
That'll explain everything.
There you go. That's a fun date. It's San Diego. Yeah. We got the gas lamp, because we're back for this year. I'm excited for that.
I'm super stoked.
I think
last year was super fun.
Yeah, I mean, this actually isn't, somehow this isn't on my list of things to talk about, but like TwitchCon San Diego being back, like, was fantastic. I think maybe I'm biased because I love San Diego, but I think it was, you know, a fantastic event, especially when compared to San Jose the year before.
Yeah.
And Long Beach the year before that. Like, it's going to be great. Just wait, one day you'll be old like me. I don't want to be old like you. Stabby, I'm turning 30 next month. It's going to happen. Zach doesn't understand. Zach's a child.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be 30 next month, and I can't like fathom that. That seems very foreign to me. But you know, it's weird, but I'm gonna accept it. It'll happen, I guess. I guess I'll just turn 30.
It's not bad.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, TwitchCon.
TwitchCon in San Diego. That'll be fun. Obviously, it's great for us because we don't have to travel. I will say this, man, like, the ability to go to the convention and then just like take an Uber back to my like home where I live was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I got to go home and like
sleep in your bed.
In my normal bed.
Make breakfast.
Yeah. Like I didn't have to
throw up in your own toilet.
Yeah. I didn't have to pack, you know what I mean? And go through that. Like, no, my stuff is just here. So like, yeah, that was fantastic. They should just keep TwitchCon here forever. I think we can all agree with that at this point.
Yeah, TwitchCon is so fun, and it's a great place to, you know, network. It does feel like every year though it zooms by. It seems like such a short convention. It's so weird because I was at TwitchCon like a massive amount of time. Like I got there like early in the morning every day, and I was out till, you know,
early in the morning the next day.
Yeah,
Like,
and it still feels like it's like coming to a full stop.
yeah. Another thing about TwitchCon, which I guess I'm talking about it now, so we're talking about TwitchCon. I think it's confusing because of the naming, but I really feel like TwitchCon is like the premier event for content creators in the video game industry. I think that's regardless of platform.
Yeah.
Whether it's
agree.
Facebook, YouTube, Mixer, Twitch, whatever, I don't think it matters, because if you're a content creator and you're going to go to one convention, I think it should be TwitchCon. Because all the companies that are coming in are there to speak with streamers. David, you got me. Yes, Stabby. We are easily distracted, and we can be dragged off topic.
Technically, this is somewhat on off.
I will
topic.
say it was not a topic we were intending on talking about, but it should have been.
We're gonna talk about it now.
Yeah,
That's
so
what matters.
I talked with somebody that was on Mixer. It was Captain Robert. I think that's his. I'm pretty sure I'm getting that right. I'm so sorry if I'm getting that wrong. Please forgive me.
That's correct.
He's a great guy, by the way. You guys should check out his channel. But I thought it was really interesting because I was just talking to him like, oh, what are you doing here? And he was kind of explaining this to me. He's like, well, I think as a content creator, this is where you want to be. And it made a lot of sense. But something that I thought was super interesting was he did a sponsored stream from the floor of TwitchCon to Mixer. Yeah, that actually happened. That was a real thing. Like, it was for Magic Arena or something. Like, he was at the Wizards booth streaming to his Mixer channel from the floor of TwitchCon.
Were they multi-streaming?
I don't know. Like, I didn't catch the stream because, like, I was running around. Captain Robert is great. He is great. And my God, he wears the whole thing. Like, I spotted him very easily.
Captain.
Yeah. McStabby, thank you so much for stopping by, man. As always, it's a pleasure. We'll see you next week, and at TwitchCon, I hope, because that was a good time hanging out. But yeah, Captain Robert is great, and I don't think there's any reason that someone from a different platform shouldn't be there, because like I said, it's a fantastic opportunity to.
Yeah, it feels like TwitchCon just covers like everything like streaming related, right? Like, you know what convention I forget about is VidCon. Like,
yes,
VidCon is something I forget about too, and that was like, I would say, is that one like the first like conventions for content creators?
It might
for
be.
YouTube content creators,
Yeah,
right?
it's the YouTube convention. I only know about it because we get I feel like people ask me every year if I'm going to VidCon, and every year it's like, oh no, I forgot that's a thing because. I mean, most of our focus is on Twitch and streaming, so not a ton of stuff. Yeah, when is VidCon? I want to say it's in Anaheim sometime, but...
Yeah, July 17 through 20, Anaheim, California.
June 17th.
June 17th.
June
20th.
17th.
Sorry, I had to clean my glasses.
That's good.
They're all blurry.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be this summer. That's probably right around E3, I want to say. I mean, if it's middle of June.
Yeah, I think like the thing about VidCon is it doesn't have as much of a gaming focus as
yeah,
TwitchCon does.
it's a YouTube
right
focus.
It's like almost like mostly like vloggers,
Yeah. Speaking of YouTube, by the way, man, we're good at this. One other thing I do want to mention, slightly, admittedly here, before we move on to our next topic, is something that really affected YouTube and YouTube creators last year that we've been asked about, and that is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. Yeah, there's an A. COPPA.
Yeah.
COPPA.
There's an R here, but we'll just say COPPA. It's
Yeah.
COPPA, so.
No, it's COPPA.
Act. COPPA?
It's COPPA. I want to say it's COPPA because it's not COPPA like Copacabana. At the Copacabana.
COPPA.
The hottest spot north of Havana.
COPPA.
Yeah, I did this yesterday and it got stuck in my head. So I was listening to a lot of Barry Manilow yesterday. That was my day, by the way, guys. So if you walked by my desk, Barry Manilow was playing. Regardless, this was a big thing for YouTube last year. And if you guys are interested, we can do a more in-depth discussion of this at another time. Someone was also asking us on Twitter, actually, about I forget the name of it. It's that California law for like independent contractors, like
AB5.
AB5. So, if anything, maybe I know Mona's been wanting to come back and do a show. Mona is our lawyer that we know. So if you guys want to hear more about that, maybe we bring her back and she can talk about stuff from, someone that knows the law and stuff like that. But from what I know about COPPA, not Copacabana, it is actually something that's been around for a long time. It's not a new thing. It's actually been in place since like '98 or something. But that's kind of the problem, is that it was introduced at a different time, right? Like, the idea of it is that you don't want companies collecting data and advertising to children because they are impressionable. There have been studies done on this. Like, it's not the most ethical way to go about your business. And last year, it became a very heated topic of discussion regarding what really constitutes as content for children. And the YouTube terms of service, like if you're creating an account on YouTube, you need to be 13 years or older. Okay, that is something that pops up when you sign up. Obviously, people can lie. That is a thing, and that's a whole other issue at that point.
Like
but
at this time, like 4-year-olds are on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Now,
and there is a lot of content on YouTube that is totally appropriate for a child, right? A lot of the arguments come down to, parents need to be parenting their children. YouTube should not be held responsible for parenting people's children's. I think that's totally appropriate. But the issue kind of came up because I guess the FTC got wind of YouTube, like the company, like talking about how popular their platform is amongst children.
Yeah.
To like marketing professionals at like conventions and stuff like that. They're like, we're like one of the most popular like platforms for like 8 to 12-year-olds.
When that happens, you would usually think that's a mistake, right?
Yeah. And like it's
especially with this act.
Yeah, it's not the best thing to say when officially you must be 13 years old to use the platform.
Yeah. So you ever see Silicon Valley before?
I have seen some of Silicon Valley.
So this exact thing happened in Silicon Valley. Basically, like the main characters of the show, they created something like a Snapchat, right?
Yeah.
Called Piper Chat. But they found out that basically their entire audience was like under 13-year-olds because they didn't put in the regulations to enforce that. And then basically they sold that company to one of the bigger companies, like their biggest competitor.
Yeah.
And he basically got screwed over with like $25 billion worth of fines.
I don't know what the exact fine was for YouTube, but the FTC came down on YouTube. There was a fine laid out.
It's a huge fine, I think.
Yeah, there was a big fine. But the issue that's coming out for content creators on YouTube is that I think starting at the beginning of the year, January 1st, like they had to tell YouTube in some way. I think there was like a form given out that they had to fill out, and they had to say whether or not their content was like content for children or not. And that's a tough thing because there are tons of like, one of the gaming channels I really like on YouTube is Game Theory. They do like real super nerdy, in-depth looks at video games about stuff that is like super like unimportant really, but like they talk about some pretty educated stuff. Like there's some, general high school and up level knowledge that is talked about on that channel. So with that in mind, you would not say that it's targeted at children. However, the subject matter is video games. So they talk about theories about games like Minecraft, which while the subject matter at hand may be geared towards an older audience, like it's Minecraft. And if there's something we know about the FTC and like people making these laws, they're not always the most in touch with what, you know, companies like YouTube or Facebook, like there was the big thing with Mark Zuckerberg when he had to go to, like, I don't know, there was some like hearing and they were like asking how Facebook like works, and he didn't, like he didn't know how to respond. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to explain this like basic level of information. And like I've like heard that there's people like that make these laws like don't even own a cell phone like in 2020. Like it's a different set of people that are making laws about this medium that for a lot of people is their entire livelihood, right? And the problem is if you are saying that your content is like for children, like then you can basically be losing out on targeted ad revenue because they are not going to target ads at children, which is the law and I think is right. But I'm seeing, again, this just took place at the beginning of this month, so we'll see how much this actually affects people. But a lot of the estimates I was seeing was anywhere from like 50 to like 90% of people's ad revenue being lost if that was the case.
Well, that will probably affect a lot of those like those child content creators on YouTube, right?
Exactly.
Like the ones that do like all those toy reviews. Like there's tons of like my little brother's like 10 years old.
What is that kid's name? The kid that reviews the toys.
I don't remember because there's so many of them that do that.
But there's the one kid, and I think he was like the highest like earning YouTuber again last year. And that was another big thing that happened is like it's basically just a toy commercial, right? Like it's hard to govern because he's a kid, right? And it's can he be held? Ryan, thank you. Can Ryan the child be held to these laws that the FTC are like governing, these guidelines? Like,
well, I mean, he has to be like he had to sign off on being 13 to use the website, right?
Yeah, it's a weird area, and like really like. It's going to have to, like, there's going to be some changes, there's going to be some growing pains with this. Like I said, a lot of this, like, has gone into effect as of 10 days ago. So we're going to see, like, within the first, like, month or two, like, how much this is affecting creators. It also, like, I don't know, I've seen people, like, talking about doing some drastic things where it's like maybe I'll just like curse a bunch at the beginning of my video, then it's clearly not
demonetized.
Yeah, then it's clearly not a kid's video anymore, right? And like I don't know, I've seen like people that are more knowledgeable about law than I am say like no, that's not actually going to work, like that you can't just scream fuck 20 times at the beginning of your video and then have it not be a kid's video. Like it's a little more complicated than that, but you know, it's going to be a big thing for a lot of the people that are creating video game content, because one of the specific things that the rule is stating is that if you use like characters, like animated like figures and stuff like that, like to in your videos, then it kind of is geared towards kids, regardless of what they're saying and stuff like that. So like by that definition, like South Park is for kids because they're cartoons, but like I think anyone that's seen South Park would agree it's not for kids.
Not for kids, yeah.
So I don't know. It's pretty new. Well, I mean, it's not new, but like it seems like they're going to be cracking down on it this year because YouTube doesn't want to get hit with another massive fine. Also, something interesting is that they're putting this kind of power in the creators' hands. They're telling them like, hey, you decide if your content is appropriate for children or not, or if it's targeted for children or not. Because I think that kind of takes their, like they're not, YouTube is no longer accountable for it. Now it's the individual creators are accountable for, you know, what happens. So if there's a demonetization that happens, it'll be directly to them, as opposed to like YouTube being fined as a company. So I don't know. There's a lot going on there. Like I said, if you guys want to hear more about that, I'm sure we can dive deeper into it on another episode, but that's pretty much what I know now. Something interesting that I did see kind of related to this is that I think Omid mentioned it earlier, where like it literally asks you, and thank you, Druids Fire, for the resub at 69 months. Well done.
Nice.
Well done.
Nice.
You did it. But yeah, I think Omid mentioned it. Like it literally just asks like, are you 13 or not? And that's like it, right? So it's super easy to bypass. But I'm gonna cite another super professional website that has a similar young audience. It's called Neopets. I don't know if you're familiar with that site,
I'm very
Zach?
familiar with it. Yeah.
Okay. So
I played
Neopets.
it a lot when I was like 9.
Yeah. I think we all agree. Anybody familiar with it? Neopets, if you're not familiar with it, it's a website where you
It was
go.
a weird time. There was that and another site. There was like Gaia Online, which was
Yeah.
all those like sites were basically forums, but they were
I thought you were going to say RedTube. No, Neopets, Omid.
Neopets.
It's a site where you make a little adorable digital pet and you play it and take care of it. You feed it or something.
Yeah, you feed your pet, you know.
You feed your pet.
It's weird. There
Oh,
was
you
a
feed your
time.
pets.
There was a time like basically when I was growing up, a lot of like the online games were also like forums, basically.
Yes.
There were forums, but they were like
Absolutely.
designed for kids, which is weird because you wouldn't really think like children would just like hop on a forum to talk
Yeah.
about whatever
Neopets.
the hell they're talking about.
Yeah. No, I feel like you train them and fight them in Pokemon, which is a totally different concept. But anyways, the reason I'm bringing up Neopets is, and again, I haven't tried this myself because I have not, here. I'm going to go to Neopets right now so I can say I've gone to this website in
My account
2020.
was suspended. I tried the other week.
Oh my god, it looks like
Man.
it looks the same.
Yeah, it hasn't changed at
Holy
all.
shit.
It's the exact same.
It's the
oh, look at all those
exact-
ads though. It's got ads everywhere.
Yeah, holy shit. But like, I believe if you sign up for an account, the way it works is it'll ask you if you're over 13 or not. And if you say you're not 13, it asks for like a parent's email address. And then it sends an email to the parents to basically ask like, hey, your kid's trying to sign up for this. Do you approve of that? Yes or no? If they say no, then I don't know, I guess they can't play Neopets, or they lie and they say, that they are over 13. But if the parent says, yes, my child is approved to do this, then that account is kind of placed in like a separate Neopets bucket for an under 13 user. And I think that's a very simple and like effective way to like, at least more effective way to go about doing it than, simply saying, are you 13, yes or no? There's a little bit more steps there, and like it feels like it's more automated, where it's like, are you 13, yes or no? No. Okay, email goes to parents. Can they go here? Yes. Okay, then this person that's under 13 goes to the under 13 Neopet site. So, I don't know. Seems like an interesting thing. Hopefully YouTube can figure this out. Hopefully all those people that are creators on YouTube, can navigate that scary time effectively and not lose a ton of revenue, because, we want to see people in the industry succeeding. We want to see it grow, and that would not be a good thing for most people that do
Agreed.
video game content on that
Yep.
platform. Yeah. If I remember correctly, the legalese of the law in question forbids adults from asking 13-year-olds their actual age. Yeah, there's a lot of, it's a lot of that. And I think that's also the reason that on certain videos on YouTube, the comments were disabled automatically. Like if it's a video like that would be, said it's for children, you are not allowed to comment on it, because it kind of became, a sketchy place to say things and ask kids things, and it was not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not the best. So that is also a good move. Something else I learned, I think Baby Shark has like multiple billions of views on YouTube. I did a lot of research this morning on this subject, guys. I don't know. I need to know how many views Baby Shark has, so I'm looking at that first. And then we're gonna move on. It has 4.3 billion views.
Yeah, that's a number you don't really see very often.
No.
on YouTube.
4.3, and it's gonna get four. It's gonna get one more right now because I'm clicking on it.
Oh.
Baby Shark. And look at that. If you go to Baby Shark and you go to the comments, comments are turned off because this is very much a video
For children.
For
And
children.
it says it right in the title too.
songs for children.
Songs for children.
Yeah, look at that. All right, 1 billion of those are mine. Oh man, Benobi219 asks, do you ever see something challenging YouTube in their zone? Oh man, I don't, honestly. Like, I think, how long has YouTube been around now? Like what, 2006?
I think so.
2005? Like around there?
Maybe 05 is like the very beginning of
Like,
YouTube.
I definitely didn't see anything on YouTube until like 2006, like, ish. Like, I remember that was the first time, like, and I'll always remember what it was, because my friend sent me, like, it was like a, do you remember those, like, music videos that, like, people would make, but, like, for animes?
Yeah, yeah.
It was like
the
that.
Naruto music video.
Yeah, but it was, like, for Final Fantasy VIII. And he was like, dude, look at this video. I'm like, dude, I'm playing this game right now. I need to watch the video. Like,
It's crazy because a lot of those content creators that made videos back in those days have gone a really long way. Like,
yeah.
The one I can think of the top of my head was Ryan Nigahiga.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
has gone a really long way from where he started.
Yeah.
Which is really cool to see because
He evolved with the platform, you know?
yeah, I think like when I was watching videos on him, I was probably like in middle school, and he was I think in high school making like how to be a ninja or something.
Yeah.
And now he has like millions of views on YouTube.
Yeah, but I don't see anyone challenging YouTube. I mean, maybe, you know, nothing's impossible, and you never say never. But like, I feel like YouTube is very established in what it does, and I think what it does is more specific than people realize. Like, it's not just a place to watch videos because Netflix exists, right? But you wouldn't say, like, Netflix and YouTube, if you look at them, they're similar, right? You go to a site, you click on a thing, and then a video starts playing. But they're very different as far as the kind of content that is found on the site. And I don't see YouTube being challenged in that space specifically as, you know, a kind of platform for whatever the fuck people upload to YouTube these days.
I mean, I know like the only competitor that I can really think of for YouTube was Vimeo.
Yes.
Vimeo was like the only competitor because I think they launched in 2007, and I think they were the first video platform to support like high definition video.
Yeah, that was their thing, huh?
Yeah, that was their thing, and
Then YouTube does that.
they yeah, YouTube started doing it, but I felt like Vimeo when I first started like checking out videos there, it was very different. It seemed like a lot of the content on there that I would watch were mostly like
It felt more
people
produced.
who were becoming like directors or people
Yeah.
who are trying to create like indie films were uploading things to Vimeo, like full-length movies and stuff like that.
Like Gunfingers.
Yes, like Gunfingers.
Gunfingers on YouTube, or Vimeo.
Is that on Vimeo?
I'm pretty sure Gunfingers is on Vimeo. If
Right.
anybody's in chat, they should look for Gunfingers on Vimeo. There'll be a reason. I'm not going to tell you why you want to look it up. There's a very specific reason. If you figure it out and you find it, tell us on Twitter. That'll be hilarious.
Yes. Let me.
Screenshots are recommended. It's pretty easy to find, actually.
Is this it?
That's 100% it. But yes, I would agree with Seriously in that videos on Vimeo had a more professional feel. They felt more produced than something I would see on YouTube, where oftentimes YouTube is like some person in their room with a webcam. Like, that was the idea, right? Like, Zach, it was supposed to be like a find for
That's
people.
something that you can just open another tab while you're watching us.
I mean, it is.
But like, watch it later.
Watch it later, because we're dropping some important shit right
Yeah,
now, man.
yeah.
We're talking about real important things like Neopets here.
Platform wars.
Platform wars is where we're going next. I could talk about YouTube another time, but because I've got some interesting things to say about YouTubers, and I feel like the word YouTuber has like a certain connotation to it, and I don't think it should. I would love to see a return to the weirder YouTube that used to exist in like 2007, 2008.
Like,
There's a
what was
weirder.
that?
There's a. I mean, Chocolate Rain was a thing, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because like YouTube today is vastly different than it was years ago.
Yeah,
And-
a lot of it is vlogging.
yeah.
That's
It's
what I would
just,
say.
and I feel like when people like, if you ask a kid these days, like I would imagine if you ask like, what do you want to be when you grow up? YouTuber is probably a common response. And
I think like Ray William Johnson.
oh my God.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that YouTuber should have that kind of connotation. I think that term should be more open-ended because it's such an open platform for creativity, and like people have fallen into, you know, and I get it, you're a slave to the algorithm and you need to do certain things to be found, but I would love to see someone do something different on that platform and do something unique and creative. That's my YouTube rant today. We're going to talk about something that I was also super interested in and took note of last year, and I called it the Platform Wars.
Platform Wars.
Platform, yes.
Down there.
And obviously what I'm referring to here is Twitch, Mixer, Facebook, YouTube, what are other ones? Caffeine. I found Sliver.tv today.
Never heard of that one.
I found it today.
Slither?
Sliver.
Sliver.
It's like silver, but like it's the other way. Like you
It's
flip L and I,
Gotcha.
and it has some weird connection to cryptocurrency. Do that at your own risk. I don't know. D Live. Yeah, there's tons of streaming platforms now, right? I'm going to focus on what I consider to be the big four, which is going to be Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Facebook. Cardboard Cowboys here. Hey, how you doing? But something that we saw last year, which was a big deal, was that platforms. God damn it, Omid. Platforms.
I just turn my head.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh.
Shelling out kind of like big money, exclusive contracts to get content creators and their channels to leave a platform and join their own. I feel like the first like big one that people really took note of a lot of that time was, you know, Ninja moving from Twitch to Mixer, which was very quickly followed by Shroud moving from Twitch to Mixer, and then Gothalion moving from Twitch to Mixer. There were a few other things that happened, like I know Disguised Toast and Scythe moved from Twitch and Mixer respectively to Facebook. Courage JD moved to YouTube as his like primary streaming platform. Twitch signed Nick A30
Yeah, I actually
to streaming.
I think I checked out that stream once because it just
Yeah.
popped up on recommended channels.
Yeah.
It's run very differently from a lot of the other streams I've seen.
Really?
Actually. Yeah, like I think he has like custom like ad transitions. I think. So like if you're watching the show on a live stream and then like an ad runs for you, it just pops up as like his branding will pop up and it'll say like, oh, we'll be right back, and then commercial break or something. Kind of like a TV show.
That's really interesting. Cardboard Cowboys moving to MFC. Y'all can look that up on your own. I don't know what it is, just so we're all clear. I have no clue what that is. Over my head, I'm not going to look it up now. That is a risk I'm not willing to take, as it might be not safe for work, but I don't know if it's not safe for work because I don't know what it is.
I don't know either.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But
Yeah.
platforms. I think this was a really interesting thing, right? Also, like something that should not be lost in this is there were people that were coming out and saying, "Hey, I'm staying on Twitch," you know, and that was like a big thing. Obviously, there were people that were kind of just joking with it, but I want to say, I don't know for sure. I think we can all assume that the people, some of the bigger names that came out and said, "I'm staying on Twitch," means that they were possibly paid to stay on Twitch. And these big kind of exclusive contracts for larger content creators with big devoted followings, that's going to be something that's going to change the industry. I think we're going to see more of it moving forward into 2020. Maybe not immediately. I think maybe some people want to wait and see how some of it worked out, but I think the people running these platforms would be irresponsible to not take note that this is happening and not attempt to do the same for their platform, whatever it may be. I've talked about this with Omid a little bit, actually, and it for me, what it reminds me of, and I'm about to dive into some super nerdy stuff, so, you know, be ready for that. I'm a big wrestling fan, okay? And growing up in the 90s with wrestling was a very different time than it is now. It was a lot more popular back then when, you know, like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin were real big. But we had, you know, the WWE, which was the WWF at the time. We had WCW and also ECW existing. And something that we saw was talent jumping from one platform to another. The first real big blow was WCW opening up Ted Turner's checkbook and paying out guaranteed contracts to big name WWE talent like Hulk Hogan. And, you know, other people that I'm not going to name now, but for various reasons. But, like, they offered a lot of money to leave a more established company and join their own, which is not dissimilar to what we're seeing from Mixer and what they're doing with content creators like Gothalion or Shroud or Ninja. Sometimes, sometimes things work, sometimes they don't, but in the immediate like time period right after those signings, it was massive. The shift was almost overnight from like the amount of like the TV ratings, because TV ratings was a thing back then. The TV ratings from like the WWE to WCW like shifted massively as these talent were moving. And it became a thing for the next few years where talent were jumping from one company to the other. People were jumping back and forth between 2 or 3 different companies, and it was this whole thing. And eventually what happened was there had to be a change in the way the platforms kind of ran their business model, right? Yes, you may have a big content creator who has a devoted following, but what I think is going to happen, and I think it's something that people have been begging for Twitch to do for a long time, is we're going to see a need for platforms to create new stars, you know? And, you know, discoverability on Twitch has been a big topic for a long time. People have been saying, like, it's impossible to be discovered. You can't find new people. Like, even if you're looking for someone, it's hard to find them on the website the way it's, you know, set up right now.
Especially if the game is really popular.
Exactly. Like, and that's the thing. Like, if the game is popular, people want to play it. But if they're playing a popular game, it's hard to be found. It's this weird balancing act that you have to play. But I think the ability for a platform to focus on newer talent that maybe not even newer in the sense that they've started creating content later. Maybe it's someone that's been on the platform for some time, like finding ways to highlight them and grow them as a newer like star of your brand, I think is going to be really important moving forward. I mean, we can take Cardboard Cowboy here as an example. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this content, but it's really unique content. Like, it's kind of like this animated world with like a cardboard cowboy character, like going on adventures, and like there's a weird like skeleton that he yells at from time to time. Like, it's something unique, it's something different, and it's kind of what I was saying with YouTube earlier. Like, I love seeing these kinds of innovative content ideas because the platform doesn't need to be the same. You know, we've seen that there's a formula for, there's a game, there's a camera, there's some overlays and some graphics and stuff and some branding. Yes, you can be successful streaming that way, but you can be successful streaming in a completely different way. Only it's all real and there isn't any animation. Yes, I forgot about that. Yes, that is all you. Exactly.
It's cardboard.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I think finding ways to highlight, you know, channels like that, or like just other entertaining people, because like Twitch is such a giant platform, and there's so many talented like creators on there, and I feel like finding a way to focus on the creators that they already have may be like the real success, I guess, there. I mean, coming back to the wrestling comparison, like, eventually what happened was WCW became the land of all the stars from the 80s. You had Hogan, you had Savage, you had Hall and Nash, like all these guys that were popular towards the end of the 80s and the early 90s. And it was happening, but it kind of got stale after a while. It was the same thing over and over again, and that's not necessarily just on them. The writing was not great. Hogan had too much power. It was a whole political thing. But what the WWE did was they focused on the talent that they had, and then they, came out with somebody who became Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock, who's done pretty well for himself, I would say. There's talent on the platform right now, and I think that the success of these multiple platforms will always be good for the talent because it's going to give them different options as far as where they can create and where they can work. But it's up to the platforms to figure out how to best present them to people's audiences, I guess. I don't know. What do you think of the of Mixer and Facebook jumping in and like grabbing people?
I mean, it's always nice to have competition, right?
Absolutely.
It's really good to have competition, and I mean, it's also always good for the creators too. It just really depends on like how they see their success as well.
Yeah.
And for example, Facebook, it's a little bit different when you jump in there. Like if you're watching a stream on Facebook, like I'm pretty sure you're using your real name.
Yes.
I think you're using your real name, which can be a huge like security issue for people. But for some people, they see it as like, well, no, there's not going to be as many trolls in this chat, but you still got to worry about, potential doxing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you've seen people do pretty good on Facebook as well because there's a lot more exposure. I remember just going down my Facebook timeline because I still use it. I saw a couple streamers, a couple of our clients come up, and it's just crazy.
Yeah. You don't have to use your real name, though. Oh, that's good to know. Okay. I'm going to change that because I don't like using my real name on there.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll like tune into Darkness because he'll be playing Call of Duty or something, and I'm like, oh, right, that's my human name. You can create a public figure page with your regular gamer tag and comment as that. And anyone can do that? Like, that's not, like, I don't need to be, like, a verified creator or something. Like, I can just be a public figure as, fearless. That can be a thing. Can subscribe and do everything as your gamer tag too. That is great. I'm glad that they added that, because
I think that was like the main concern for anyone really.
Yeah, I just remember the first time I was in a chat on Facebook and I typed something, and first of all, it's weird because it looks like Facebook comments, but then I was like, oh yeah, that's my name. That's like my personal Facebook right there. Like that's kind of weird. But I mean, Facebook as a platform, like my God, like the potential on that platform is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're like we were talking about data collection earlier on YouTube, like Facebook knows pretty much everything about all their users. Like it knows their name, it knows where they live, like it knows the kind of content they consume, it knows what they buy. Like there's tons of information that they have. Yeah. Hyper targeting. It's not just targeted content. It is hyper focused targeted content. So I think the potential that Facebook has as a streaming platform is massive. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Are we getting audio issues? Sorry, I'm getting instructions. I'm good?
We're good?
All right. Sorry if I like blew out your ears or something like that, guys, but it's just the buzzing. Okay. I can't do anything about the buzzing, just so we're all clear. But I'm sure it will get figured out because I believe. No? Okay. My cat thought a toy had entered the room. Oh man, it's my pacemaker. Oh, that'd be surprising. Did God set up your audio? That would explain a lot, actually. Maybe he did. Who knows? Maybe Corey came over because he heard us talking about him, messed with our audio, like a little audio troll
ninja thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I can see him. I can see Corey living under a bridge as like a troll.
Corey?
Yeah. Cathalion?
Goth?
Yeah. He could do that.
Under a bridge?
Yeah. I don't know. He's kind of like, I don't, never mind. We can, I digress. Platforms. They were interesting in 2019. I think they will continue to be interesting in 2020. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I think 2019 was like the year that they were doing all the testing for that.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll decide to bring on some more talent.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And again, like I don't. It's that balancing act of like we have new talent and we want to show off our shiny new toy, but like it's also like don't forget who has been there to help you build the platform. You know, like it's tough. I hope that the platforms do right by the creators that they have that are working hard, but you know that remains to be seen as far as what'll happen this year. Speaking of what'll happen this year, we're going to move on to our last topic of the day, which is 2020 looking ahead. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
That was
good transition.
Fucking great, man. Like, we're like professionals in here or something. So we've talked a lot about 2019 and things that happened in 2019. We did kind of want to end the show here with looking ahead to the year and the decade. My God, it's a new decade. And like kind of what we think is going to happen. I mean, obviously the platform like wars are going to keep raging on, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm wondering if more companies are going to start working into the Twitch space too.
Yeah.
Like, I know we've seen a lot of big brands, like, you know, we've seen like Red Bull come in, we've seen 7-Eleven, but it'd be awesome to see even more companies like think about marketing on all these streaming platforms and YouTube.
What's a company you would like to see marketing on Twitch?
And you really caught me off guard with that question.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
More beer companies.
More beer companies. I thought the same thing.
I mean, yeah, I think the only thing about
Coke Gaming,
you know, alcohol, right? Alcohol and Twitch and
Sure.
content creators is, it's not proven, but it could be that like once a brand, so like a brand that isn't really for alcohol and drinking and stuff like that moves into the space, they might look at that content creators, you know, history with the brands that they worked with, and they might not like that, but who knows, really?
Yeah. People were talking about that Coke ad, and I think we've all seen that ad on Twitch. And
I think it's, I don't hate the ad. I think it's just, it comes up so often.
I agree.
That I'm just like, ugh, can I get a different ad this time?
And I think that's more an issue of the platform and the way Amazon and Twitch is handling ads. As far as like you click on a stream and it's right there and it's the same ad every fucking time I click on a new stream. Because I jump around from streams a lot. We've talked about this earlier. I'm not a patient person. I need immediate gratification. I go from one stream to another, then I hang out in all of them all the time. But when I'm doing that and I get the same ad about Coke and people getting partnered and all the excitement and stuff, like I just get over seeing it. Didn't see the Coke ad in Canada. That's interesting to note, actually. But something that Benobi was saying was, I also like that the Coke ad used the content creators. I think that was a really good way to go about it and really kind of marry the platform with the brand in a way that is more natural than just like, here's the standard Coke commercial that you see, you know, on TV. I don't really watch. I guess I watch sports on TV still. So here's the ad you see like at a commercial of like, I don't know, the Chargers losing. Because that happens still. Yeah. That happened like a lot of times this year. I couldn't think of the number. I can't do math that quickly. A lot. But yeah, I think more companies, Grubhub type companies showing up on the platform. We started to see that as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of those like meal delivery services, those VPNs, I see so much of that on YouTube now. It's almost like just like a regular thing. Like I'll be like watching like a cooking video, right? Yeah. And like Adam Ragusa is one of my favorite YouTube content creators for cooking and stuff like that. Basically, he opens his YouTube video with a cooking pre-roll, or like actually like a website pre-roll. Like, oh, here's Squarespace, here's how you can start your own website.
Yeah.
Those are so common that I feel like it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing as much creative stuff on like Twitch and streaming spaces. But, you know, I hope that they do, for sure.
It's the same thing. I guess I'm tired of companies doing the same thing, but I would love to see more creative pre-roll advertisements from people, because we've all like gone to a YouTube video and we get the same kind of
Raid Shadow Legends.
Shadow Legends, Squarespace.
NordVPN is the best way to protect your privacy when surfing the internet.
And I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying that I've seen this before, and it comes off as very inauthentic because we've all seen it a ton of times from various creators.
But I think their goal is just kind of like get all that stuff out there, you know? Yeah. I mean, a really cool brand that did work with our clients in 2019 was Pringles, right?
Oh my God, the Hunger Hammer.
The Hunger Hammer.
Did you guys see the Hunger Hammer? Oh my God. Explain the Hunger Hammer to the people, Zach.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, two of our clients, Strippin and Dodger, or Dex Bonus on Twitch, they basically stream themselves with a Pringles Hunger Hammer. It's this really huge headset that you put on, and it funnels Pringles down this tube. Yeah. Puts it onto this device that moves and puts a Pringle in your mouth.
Yeah. Was it voice activated?
Yeah, I think you have to say like
Pringle or like,
release the Hunger Hammer.
Yeah. So like it was this headset, and there was a tube that you would fill with chips. You would say release the Hunger Hammer, and it would swing around and deliver the chip directly to your mouth, ish.
Directly to your mouth, ish.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes, it was a beer hat for Pringles, and the idea was that it was voice activated, so you didn't have to stop gaming in order to snack, which I admit is an issue I've run into many times in my life, because I was talking about this earlier with Pims. I tend to play very esportsy titles, right? Like Call of Duty. I've been talking about Call of Duty today. So I'll be playing Call of Duty. I don't really have time to stop and reach for a Pringle, but I want it. And it's often right next to me. And then when I do it, you know, if I do it and I eat it successfully without dying, then I've got greasy fingers, you know. Maybe I slip off of, like my trigger finger's slippery and I'm not.
Your mouth is just covered in oil.
Yeah, like it's not the best thing. Yeah. But, you know, the Hunger Hammer, it solved that problem.
That's a good question, Xanatex.
Pair it with a gaming chair that has plumbing. That's good. Oh my God.
Good question.
Yes.
How does it knows whose voice? I don't know.
I am not.
I don't think it does know whose voice it is. I think it at some point it hears things and then just continuously shoves Pringles into your face.
I mean, Dodger and Strippin were doing the stream at the same time from like the same place. So I wonder if like if Sam yelled like really loud, like would it activate like Brooke's Hunger Hammer? Like that would have been fun.
Greasy mouse and keyboard is such a disgusting, shameful feeling. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I know.
We know.
Yeah.
I feel it.
I've been there. But yeah, that was a fun little thing, and I think a cool, unique way to do promoted content. Something I saw last year too that I thought was really cool was, I'm going to talk about Game Theory again because I was talking about that earlier. He did a sponsored video with Wizards of the Coast, and his, like, the whole thing was he like broke down like how Magic works. Like he broke down the math of like, well, you have this many cards, this many of them could be the same, like, you know, like the probabilities look like this to get like various different things. And like it was a video very much in the style of his normal videos, but it was all centered around this sponsored content. I think that is super important when doing branded partnerships with companies. Like you need to be able to let the creators create. Yeah. You know?
Like Day 9 does really, really good videos with
Totally.
MTG Arena.
Yeah.
I remember like
fantastic.
I remember watching Day 9's videos, trying to figure out like all the random decks that he's building and see what he's doing. But I ended up figuring out that those were sponsored videos. Yeah. And I couldn't even tell because
they were just good quality videos,
right,
you know?
Right, yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Like we see it a lot where like sometimes a company may come to us and they may say like, hey, we want, Sacriel to do a sponsored stream for this. Here's everything we want them to do. And it's like, 5,000 pages of things they want them to say. And it's like, hey, I mean, we think it's best if Sacriel like is Sacriel, for the stream. And like he stays true to who he is. And he presents this in a way that is natural for him and that his audience is used to, because that's what they like and that's what you like about him. So I think seeing more of that from different companies this year would be a great thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? What are you looking ahead to in 2020, I guess? Benobi asks, do you think it's hard for Twitch to get companies to buy ad revenue because it's hard to show the metrics versus standard TV ads? That is a good question. Possibly. I think it's hard for Twitch just because the platform itself is still it's still a new thing. It's been around for a while now, but it's very hard to find direct correlations between things that are seen on Twitch and like direct purchases and sales and stuff, right? We see this a lot with like sponsorships that our clients do. And, sometimes let's say it's a sponsorship for like a PC, right? A PC is a large purchase, right? Compared to something like a mouse or keyboard. If it's something like a mouse, that's something you can easily like impulse buy, right? Maybe you see someone saying like, hey, I got this new mouse from Logitech. I think it's great. It makes me click on things super well. And then maybe you're at home watching, you're like, oh man, that's cool. I should buy this mouse. And maybe you click on the link that they drop and you can buy it. And you can see that direct correlation from point A to point B super easily, right? With something like a PC though, like it's hard because that's a large purchase. It's not something that someone necessarily impulse buys, right? Like that, right? So it's tough. And I don't we don't work for Twitch. I don't know what kind of metrics Twitch has access to that they can show. But I'm sure there's just difficulties with, the platform being newer than traditional mediums, I guess.
Elroy Budvis asks, you would think companies would know their demographic. Does Twitch release that information to companies? Do they have that information?
So it's something we get asked a lot too. Demographics on Twitch are tough. I want to say if you go to your channel dashboard or whatever, you can see demographics based on geography.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're tracking
age. I don't think so either. Like age or... I know YouTube has all that information for all their videos, but I'm not sure if Twitch shares age and all that stuff. Yeah.
I don't know if they have it. You know what I mean? And
Twitch might have it actually. Twitch themselves might have it.
Okay.
And I would think that Twitch has that information.
How do they know? Do you ever what I'm saying is when it's been a while, but when you sign up for Twitch, does it ask you that stuff? Does it ask for date of birth?
I can't remember, but
right.
I think it does.
I should sign up for a Twitch account and find out.
Yeah.
A new one, obviously.
I would think that it asks you for your date of birth before you can even proceed.
It must. Yeah, I guess it has to ask you if you're over 13, right? So it probably, yeah. I would think it's hard to nail down where your target demo is on Twitch.
Date of birth.
Yeah?
Yep.
So date of birth, but that's it then, right? Geography and age is probably what they know as far as demographics go. Okay. That's pretty useful, actually.
It's useful. I think the only thing it doesn't ask you for is, let's see here, gender, of course.
I wonder if it tracks the kinds, I wonder if they know how much time I spend watching a certain game. They probably do, right?
It's possible. I think we can always speculate.
Yeah.
That they have all that information that we just don't have, or creators don't even have. But who knows?
Yeah.
But I'm sure that if they do have that data, I'm sure that they are most likely going to share that with. If they are they're definitely going to share that with companies because they want companies to invest in their platform.
Absolutely, yeah. They do if they care to keep the info. Yeah, like I think they've got to know that I've spent many hours of my life on Twitch watching StarCraft 2 and Dota 2 and those kinds of streams, and if they want to target those kinds of creators to me, like I feel like they have the ability to.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wish just as a user, like I wish I could see how much of a certain game I've watched.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be a really cool feature to have.
Mm-hmm. I think that'd be really cool. And again, like if they don't have that information on people, they really should just like, I don't know. I'm not gonna tell Amazon how to run their company and stuff, but like that feels useful. So they probably do. They have to know where you are on their site to put you in those places. Yeah. Yeah, getting analytics from Twitch can be tricky, definitely. Looking forward to seeing what gaming does good can accomplish in 2020. Yeah. I mean, 2020, there's gonna be some things, man.
I'm sure there are. I mean, like, every year there's, the St. Jude Summit, where tons of amazing content creators come together.
Yeah. GCX this year.
GCX.
Which is not Guardian Con. Look at that. That was like the first time I got it on the first try. GCX 2020. Look at that. I did it. I done did it. But yeah, I think we're going to see more of that on the platform. What did Lupo raise last year for Guardian Con? Like
a lot.
Yeah, he did a lot on his own. It was fantastic. I think we're going to see more of that this year. I know AGDQ is...
3.7 million.
Good Lord.
That's insane.
Yeah. AGDQ is happening now or just finished. And I know they raise money for... Oh man, kids doing stuff. I'm terrible, guys. I don't know. Somebody knows. Going through Sunday. Thank you, Tyler, for letting me know.
I remember this too. Is during GCX last year, Bungie actually participated and got like one of the biggest blocks ever.
That was a
really cool
friggin' stream, man.
Yeah.
Benefiting the Prevent Cancer Foundation. I wonder if they do different ones. Also, they're speedrunning Mega Man X right now.
You want to watch that?
I do want to watch this. Yep. If you guys don't know, I love me some Mega Man X, and they're speed running it. They're running with speed. I think 4 people are playing right now. Holy balls! Hi, I'm not just sitting here watching AGDQ on stream. You're right. I know you're more important.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I'm sorry,
Come on.
It's silly me watching this
You didn't even close the tab. You still have it open.
Shut up, Zach. Like, I'm not watching it. It's just there. For, like, solidarity and stuff. Moving into 2020, I guess, OPG, as a company, we're doing some new things. We were looking into doing the OPG like quick pay stuff to get our clients paid out for sponsorships a little bit quicker, because sometimes in the industry it takes a little while for them to get their money. So
it's a cool service. Yeah.
Yeah.
I use that a similar service when I'm using Venmo sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm just like, I want my money now.
Right now, I need it, Venmo.
Yeah.
So
it's my money.
And you need it now.
And I need it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call JG Wentworth.
877
cash now.
Yeah.
Look at that. Effective advertising, guys. JG Wentworth. They know where it's at. We're also doing like a referral program for our clients, which is super cool. Because our process of bringing in new clients is kind of, I feel like some people think it's kind of mysterious. Really, we just take our time and get to know different creators and talk to them about, what they're like, what they don't like, what their goals are for their channel, and so on and so forth. But a lot of the people we work with are people that were recommended by our clients because we trust their opinions on things. That's why we work with them. So it's a really cool way for us to kind of reward our clients for, letting us know like who they think is really cool and like kind of getting in their brain, because they have a different perspective on the platform than we do. As a creator, their view of Twitch is different than ours as, working in a management company. Just like our view is different than someone who is primarily just a viewer on Twitch. Like,
Right.
it's just a different thing. So being able to tap into that is super useful. And again, real excited to see what things are happening with that this year. Lastly, before we get out, I do want to touch real briefly on some games coming out this year.
Oh yes.
Iceborne,
Some good ones.
the Monster Hunter World
Came out officially
expansion.
yesterday.
Yeah, it's out yesterday.
It looks cool.
It does, and I think I'm gonna play.
You do have to
again.
be like, I think you have to complete like the base game first.
Okay.
Like you have to be pretty far in the first base game to actually get to the expansion. So
doing the thing.
don't waste your money.
Okay.
You get it.
No, we're doing it. Look at that.
There.
That game's
Like that.
coming out this year. Can you guys see it? I did it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk.
you're
What's the date? I always get the date wrong.
2077.
2077. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be out this year. I feel like that's the big game that everyone is waiting for.
I'm super excited.
I know,
can't
I'm
even contain
excited.
it. Like, I'm gonna put a pause on everything else I play.
Yeah, it looks breathtaking. If I were to put a word on it, I would say that's the word.
Yeah.
I hope it's good.
I'm just glad that it's coming out this year.
I know, it's crazy. When did
Like-
they announce this? Like
8 years ago.
yeah,
or
like
something?
it's been a while.
Yeah.
Doom Eternal is
Doom
going to be
Eternal
coming
is gonna be
out.
great.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
That new Dragon Ball Z game's coming out this month.
I'm pretty stoked for that too.
Is it a
I love Dragon
fighting
Ball Z.
game? No, it's like
an action RPG.
Yeah, it's like an
Yeah.
whoa. That is a yes. Close enough.
What am I looking at?
Tyler is excited for Forza. Oh man.
Forza Motorsport 8?
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty stoked for that too.
Yeah.
I just hope Toyota finally gets their stuff together and starts
Yeah.
putting their cars in games.
Something I'm mildly excited about, I'll say mildly, but it's coming out this month, is the Warcraft 3 remaster,
game's
Warcraft 3
hard.
Reforged.
You know what? I actually am excited for that too because I like the custom games.
Yes.
I'm all about the custom games.
Like Defense of the Ancients. Did you ever play that game?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Defense of the Ancients.
Defense? Dota.
Dota.
Dote?
Dota.
Yeah, I hear that game got kind of popular, right?
Maybe.
Okay. But yeah, I'm actually really bad at Warcraft 3.
It's hard.
I was
all micro.
I was much better at the StarCraft games than the Warcraft games because StarCraft was much more macro heavy, and Warcraft was more micro heavy, and I play a lot more macro focused, which is probably the nerdiest thing I said all show.
That is.
which is saying something.
I'm the opposite, which is why I play MOBAs.
Yeah, see, I make lots of banelings, and then I roll them into things, and then they blow up.
There's too much going on in those games, man.
I think the last time I streamed StarCraft 2, that was literally my plan. I was playing, and it was hard because I hadn't played in months, and then at some point I was just like, I'm just gonna make a bunch of banelings, more than anyone would ever make, in an intelligent way. And I'm just gonna roll them at my opponent and watch things blow up. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, whatever. But it worked. I won that game.
A little bit later this year, but the Final Fantasy VII remake is also coming out,
Ooh, that'll be good.
which is going to be cool.
That's actually gonna come out. I feel like they
Yeah.
were talking about that on PS3 at some point.
Really?
I want
That
to
was
say
a while ago, huh?
Or it was supposed to be near the beginning of the PS4's lifespan, that game was gonna come out. That will be my first Final Fantasy game that you've played, Benobi. Oh my goodness! Wow, that'll be a good one.
I think it's a good way to start.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to be significantly different from almost every single Final
Yeah.
Fantasy game except for maybe 15.
Cardboard Cowboy says StarCraft 2 gave him the feeling of having an assignment due constantly throughout the entire game. Yes. I've often described it to my wife as the most stressful thing I ever do. And then she asks, why do you play this game? And I don't have a good answer. But, yes, that's a good way to put it out there. There's some good VR games coming out this year. I know there's that did that Star Wars, like that Darth Vader thing come out?
I actually haven't. I've only seen like one preview of it. I actually haven't seen anything else.
So there's that. I know there's like an Iron Man one coming out this year that's supposed to be hopefully a good VR game.
There's going to be an actual Marvel Avengers.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, that's right. There's that Half-Life like VR game coming out. Like there's.
I know that one really got my attention because that means Valve is making game.
Yes. Valve is making game. Yeah. Oh man. How about that? I mean, look. Valve, they make a little bit of money off of that Dota game.
They still haven't given us Half-Life 3. What's up with that?
They're waiting. They're waiting until they really have to. You know,
I don't think it's gonna happen.
eventually we're gonna get to a point where like maybe Valve starts not making money, which sounds like a weird thing to say. But maybe at that point they're like Half-Life 3, and then they're all good again.
I don't know if that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know either. Omid says StarCraft 2 feels like you are tortured for a few minutes and then you lose.
Accurate.
I mean, that's
Accurate.
pretty accurate.
100% accurate.
You're tortured for a few minutes, then you lose, or you're tortured for a few minutes and you win, and you still don't feel much better. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's it's a weird thing to put yourself through. Last of Us 2, that's coming out this year.
Last of Us 2 is coming out this year.
Like that's pretty crazy.
I'm really stoked for that.
Yeah, it should be
It's
good.
gonna be really fun.
I mentioned Last of Us 2 in the latest OPG blog post, which you should all read.
I'm kind of like they did this with the PS3 and the PS4, but The Last of Us, the first game, actually launched on PS3, and then they made a remastered version on PS4, which is great. If the PS5 is coming this year, I didn't actually see when it's coming out from CES, but if it does come out this year, man, I don't know.
Did you?
My PS4 is like overheating at this point. Like
Yeah.
I would rather play like a PS exclusive on the next console or something.
Yeah, I came to the realization this year that my PS4 is kind of at the end of its lifespan.
Yeah.
I have the white PS4 that came out with Destiny, like Destiny 1, like vanilla Destiny. That's the PS4 I have. PS5 supposedly holiday 2020. If that's what it is, I can wait till then.
Yeah, like
End of the
man,
year,
it's-
I can do it because I've been doing a lot more on my PC lately.
Yeah.
PC Master Race and all that.
I'll probably just buy the game twice. That's what Rockstar does to me.
They do like when you do that.
They love it when you buy the same game twice for
Yeah.
$60.
Absolutely. All right. I think on that note, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for us here today. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us ramble about whatever the hell we talked about today. COPPA, 2019,
2020.
platforms, Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Not next week, 2 weeks from now.
Don't forget,
Yeah.
if you have a question, hashtag AskOPG on Twitter.
Yeah, and we will try and get to it quickly, or as quickly as we can. Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you on Twitter. Read the blog post, follow us on Twitter, tune into the show. Okay, thanks.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.